Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, so I'm out the house. Don't ask me where I'm going. I have no idea. Don't really need anything out here, but I told the maintenance guy that I would leave because he wants to snake the kitchen sink. I guess it's leaking over on the other side of the wall, and he said that thing was gonna be loud, man. So he was like, "You gonna be out of here?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm out, man. I ain't gonna be in your way." So that's what's going on. I'm just getting out the house. Game doesn't start till 7:30, so I stayed in yesterday. What was yesterday? Monday. I just slept, man. I don't know why I felt like sleeping yesterday, but I definitely did. Did a lot of meditating. The wind is what kind of kept me in the house, I think is what it was. The winds with the Santa Anas were blowing pretty strong yesterday. I just didn't have any interest in dealing with it. It ain't deeper than that, I don't believe. There was nothing keeping me in that house other than that, really. I didn't do any art, didn't do my hundreds. I just was not energetic yesterday, and but it did allow for a lot of prayer time and rest time, and that was what it was. I tried something called mussels. It's like a clamish type of sea thing. It was really good. I just should have got a different type of seasoning. They allow for 4 different types of seasoning: lemon, pepper, Cajun. I went with Cajun. It was a little too salty. A little too salty. I went with mild to protect my stomach anyway, but you know, I think lemon pepper is probably the better way to go. And so I've been eating a lot of seafood lately. Been ordering from the local seafood mart, trying to see what all the different types of seafoods there is that people have, you know, that you have to like manually break apart yourself and all that. So I tried shrimp on Sunday. Tastes good, but I hated it because I had to keep digging through the heads, and the legs had to be peeled off. It's a lot of manual work. And then of course I told you guys I tried crawfish, which is the same. You got to do a lot of manual work, pulling off the head, cracking through like the whole body of the thing. So all the food tastes good though, but some are less work than others. Like mussels didn't require any work. The shell is there. You just pick open the contents within the open shell and just toss the shell. And so that I really enjoyed all of those meals, but I think mussel's probably the one I will order again. And so that's what it is, man. I've been eating a lot of takeout because I got tired of eating the breaded calamari that I have. I don't know. I just ain't been feeling it. I think my body's starting to reject the breading in the calamari, whatever they use to bread it. It's been working out for me, but as of late, I don't know if it's the batch I got or what. I just don't like that batch, so I probably should throw it away. Try to find something else to eat. But I've been ordering takeout seafood, which is not cheap. $20 a piece. And then eating rice with that over the last 2 days. So I don't think I'll do that 3 days in a row, but I do not want to eat what I have there. I'm pretty tired of that, so. Yeah, man, just random stuff like that. Just been trying to deal with my stomach and the dietary issues and stuff like that. Definitely have been enjoying seafood. But yeah, man, it ain't too much going on my side. I didn't do any art yesterday or nothing. Didn't make a playlist. I was really lazy yesterday. There was not a whole lot to it. Of course, I left a Laker video last night talking about how bad I see things in regards to the outlook of the team. And of course I left another Laker video this morning preparing for tonight's game against the Wizards. And so, you know, that's kind of where my head has been. A lot of meditating and prayer. As I told you guys, nothing really special came my way in that regard. Just connecting with God, praising him and falling asleep, you know, that kind of thing. Real quiet couple of days for me since coming into this particular room. The room is great shower, powerful shower, even though it's not detachable like what I prefer. I've only seen one room that has that, and that was the one I was last in. But this shower has been great just the same. I mean, the water comes out so impactfully that you know, you really getting the full thing. So I've been very pleased with that. The bed's comfortable. The room is properly placed, so you know, it's a good room. It's been a good room thus far. It just requires more maintenance. So That's what I'm allowing them to do now, and just wanted to find myself somewhere today. Told them I'd probably come back around 4 o'clock, so I don't really have anything to purchase as it pertains to grocery shopping or anything. I think I'm all set where I need to be there. And so that's really it, man. A good friend of mine named Smokey, my boy Matt from high school, is going to be in town. Unfortunately, he's going through some bereavement. He lost his son's mom a week ago, and so he's coming out here to for her services, and wants to kind of have a lot of us buddies from old kind of meet together at Hollywood and Highland. And I told him I ain't got no problem doing that. For me, I'm always at Hollywood and Highland. In fact, I might end up there now. So going there is not going to be a real thing. But I think the issue is trying to get everybody else. And so he's been trying to communicate with me to try to get a hold of my boy T and my boy Farai. And I just, hadn't been able to get a hold of him. So it's like, I reached out to them a couple times. They haven't gotten back to me on whether or not they want to do this. And so Smokey's kind of connected with me. So he doesn't have a way to get a hold of those guys, but he really wanted to be there. So it's like, Smokey asked me for T's number last night. I didn't give it to him. My thinking was, my boy T he's a private person. And even though we know Smokey, I don't know what the dynamic is. We haven't seen these folks in years. So I don't want to give Smokey his number and then be on the hook for that if for some reason he's not happy about it. So I've learned, just because I get along with somebody and trust somebody doesn't mean that I have a right to give away their someone else's information and assume that they're going to be cool with it. So I told Smokey, I was like, yo, I got his number. I just sent him a text to see if it's cool to give it to you. Like, I'm not going to be giving out the homie number. I'm not doing that. And so I don't really know how Smokey's feeling about this. I want to be there for him, you know what I mean? But it's kind of hard, man, when you've been away for like 10 plus years. People haven't been close to each other for 20 plus years. And now you're trying to get them all on a whim at the last minute to come meet up with you and act like it's old times. It ain't old times. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of these people that we're trying to get together and see, we ain't seen in years. So it's like, it's cool to come together, but not everybody's going to be up for that at a given moment just because you have the time. You moved out of town. And, like, it's just like a lot of stories in this situation. You move out of town, you remember the world the way it was back home, and then when you get back home, you expect everybody still in that same space to just get together and hang out. And it's like, that's not who we've been for a long time, brother. A very long time. And our lives are different. I still have access to Hollywood and Highland and probably will be able to go at a random moment, but I don't know that all of our buddies are. Like, a lot of these people I haven't spoken to in years. Some of these people's lives have changed a lot. Some of these people don't. Some of our friends don't get along anymore. It's time to have it. Now, I still got good rapport with all my friends, all of the people that I used to be friends with in that way. I think I can meet up with them right now, have smiles. But I know a such and such don't get along with such and such. So now that you want to bring people together, they ain't going to come because they got to see each other in that situation. And so it's like that's the type of stuff. It's like, you can't really, in these type of situations, count on people all wanting to show up. You know what I mean? That's what it really comes down to. We're not 19 anymore. You know what I mean? People in their 40s. People don't want to hang out at 8, at certain situations. Some people like to go to bars at night and stuff like that. Others want to be in the house before the sun go down. We're just not in the same space. So I think he wants us to be in that same space like we was when we was young. And, he's talking about, yeah, we're going to meet up at 8 o'clock this time. Like, 8 o'clock? Like, brother, I'm not driving right now. So I would prefer to meet in the daytime, especially on a Saturday. I'm not a nightlife guy anymore. I'm well past that age at this point in my life. So going out to the Dave and Buster's at 8 o'clock, drinking, and I ain't doing none of that willingly. Not my lifestyle. I gotta jump through a lot of hoops because I don't have a car in regards to doing stuff like that. So it's just become a bit stressful or irritating. I'm not really sure. Somewhere in that ballpark for me. Trying to connect with other people and try to have them all come together for smoke. It's cool. I'd love to hang out with Smokey, but I don't necessarily want to be responsible for communicating with everybody, trying to make them come together in the situation. That's not my personality. I'm not the reach out to you and holler at you type of guy. Even with people I'm close to, I don't do that. This is not my personality at all. So I don't know, man. We'll see how it goes. I've given it some prayer, but I just think Smokey wants it to be like old times, have a reunion because he's got time. It's like, well, the rest of us may not necessarily have the time. Maybe that's not where we at. Maybe we there in a random January of a different year. You know what I mean? So it's like, life brings you home sometimes. If you've been out of town, you live in a different place, life brings you home when people pass away or when people have weddings and stuff like that. But when you come home, not everybody's life is ready to come together for you just because you came back home. A lot of us stayed home and things changed while being here, and now it's like, yeah, we appreciate people and we want to cherish them, and we may envision having a good time when we do come together. But trying to get people to come together ain't always the easiest thing in the world. And so that's my thing. I don't know that everybody's up for this. I don't really know that I'm up for this, to be honest with you. Seeing some of the people I ain't seen in 20 years. He's bringing together some people that have history and different things have happened in life. It's like they parted ways amicably, but there's some history there, so it could be a little awkward, and Smokey may not be aware of it because some of that stuff happened after Smokey left. So it's like, that's the type of thing he's trying to put together. And we got them coming, and got them, damn, they coming too? Okay. And we got them coming, oh, they coming too? Okay. So it's like, Smoke, nah, bruh, I don't know that this is going to be what he hopes it's going to be. Because he's been gone for so long. He's been gone since like 2001. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how long it's actually been. I got people probably watching me right now who weren't born last time I was hanging around Smokey. Who are grown people driving cars and going to work. Like, that's how long it's been. So it's like, bro, are you sure you're trying to really just get everybody who we used to hang out with to come together and like just I don't know, kumbaya? I mean, a lot of us are gonna be able to do that, no problem. Some of us, it's probably not best to put us all in the same room. Not everybody. Some of these people, like literally. So that's my concern. I just think that what he's gonna find out is people ain't up for it, man. And that's a lesson that I've seen learned in other aspects of life. I've seen this movie before. You know what I mean? So for me, I wouldn't necessarily expect everybody to come together like that. I would be optimistic that I could get a few people, but I wouldn't think this is possible really to get everybody, just all the homies for a last minute reunion. I don't think that's realistic in a lot of cases. So I don't know, maybe it works out. Maybe we all do come together, but I could totally see people who are saying they coming back out last minute. I just know some of these folks, man. They ain't gonna want to do it. So yeah, that's ultimately what's been on my mind. I guess is just trying to mentally prepare myself for this, especially if he wants to do it at an hour that's not convenient for me. Convenience is a big deal in my mental health and my little way of doing things, and so that's really what it comes down to. I just don't know if I'm up for this. Not at the hour that he wants to do it. Not really. But at the same time, it's like, hey, man, you only get it once. People do come together for funerals. Next time we might see these people, it may not be under great circumstances, so you might as well capture it when you can. And that's kind of what I've been willing to do. I buried my grandfather, and it required me to kind of step outside of my comfort zone. After we got back from that, I tried to connect with my cousin. My cousin I just now met on my grandfather's side. We didn't necessarily get it done, but I attempted to go where we would agree to go, and she just wasn't able to come at the time we had agreed to. No hard feelings, but it's like it shows me and myself that I'm willing to do things that maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, I would have flaked away from. And this Smokey get-together is definitely another one of those things where it's like I'm more open to doing this now than probably would have been at any other time before this. because I don't do this type of stuff. I don't like social gatherings really like that. Not really, but the people that we're talking about bringing together are real friends, like people that I used to really get along with in the past, and buddies, you know, we're all from the same clique. So it will be good to see how some of these folks are doing, but it's a last minute type of thing. And you know, it takes a different mindset for myself to be up for it at this point in time in my life. And so luckily enough, I'm open to being challenged in that way. And so that's really what it comes down to. We'll see what happens on Saturday if we do it. I think it'll be good for a lot of us. I think some people probably won't be able to do it, but I think ultimately it'll be good to see how people are doing at the end of the day. I think that's what it comes down to. And Smoke, you know, come together for a good buddy. Smokey always there for people, you know. He always shows support. And so he's going through something real right now, and it's rough. I remember when he met this lady who passed away. I remember when she was pregnant. I remember the whole thing. You know how that goes. One of the homies, I am. So when things was happening live, I was told, yo, this is what happened. This is how it went down. Yo, this is what happened and how it transpired. It's like, I remember all of that. So it's like, when you find out she passed away, that's a real thing. Like, damn, you serious? I remember when you met, girl. I remember how it went down. The whole thing. I was one of the people you told first what happened. So it's like, oh my God, what are we talking about here? So that's really what it is, man. That is exactly what's been going on with me. Just continuing to connect with Smokey and trying to get a hold of other people, and, you know, trying to talk myself into being a part of this too, you know. As antisocial and as introverted as I ultimately naturally am. So yeah, man, that's it. That's the thought. It's an update on myself. I still haven't taken care of my DPSS thing. That's another thing. I've been unnaturally stressed about that, which is, I think, is a byproduct of how I do kind of incorporate old experiences into anticipation anxiety. I just had such bad experiences, not even just irritating experiences trying to update this information with DPSS in regards to my my food benefits, to now when it's time to do it, I'm literally stressing it. I don't want to talk to these people. I don't want to go through the steps of submitting information that they already have. It angers me. And the way that I try to avoid things that stress me out ultimately keeps me from handling things that need to be done. And it was cute when I was a kid, when I didn't know it was a problem. Now that I'm grown and understand this, it's a mental health thing. It's a bit irritating for me to be on the inside struggling with this. But that's one of the type of things where it's like, if I have a bad experience with something and then I had to go through it again another year, I really struggle with talking myself into doing it. And then the fact that it's a deadline, y'all know, if you follow me close enough, we talked about how I handle deadlines. Stress them out, constantly overthinking, underperforming type of reactions to certain deadlines. And so this has been a problem for me. I know we have the end of the month, the 30th, to submit all the information. Like I said, I submitted what I was willing to, which I already know is not acceptable to them. And I'm waiting for them to set up the conversation so that we can discuss what has been submitted, and ultimately for them to tell me that I have to submit more. And I just haven't initiated that phone call. Every time I check, the website is saying the situation is still pending, and they haven't set me up for another appointment, phone call appointment, for which I'm asking them to do. But they've yet to do that. And the option for me to call them and sit on the phone for an hour and a half and listen to their song and and wait for them to pick up the phone is available for me to initiate that. But the way that is set up, you're gonna sit there for about 6 hours in total. If my experiences with them are what they still would be this year, so that whole anticipation of that bad experience being relived has really caused me more stress than probably I would like to admit. I've been having a hard time with that. It ain't that big of a deal, but that's just how my head is wired. And that's what we are going to therapy, try to help fix. It's the problem about a lot of different things in my life. This is when I go through something that I don't like, however that goes, however the experience is. If I ain't like it, I'm gonna have a hard time talking myself into doing it again, even if it makes sense to do, even if it needs to be done. If the experiences I perceived was bad enough, I don't do it, or I find myself struggling if I need to. So that's what this has been. I think that was part of why I didn't leave the house yesterday too, kind of stressing that in my own way. And it's been irritating, man. It's been very irritating to be myself dealing with that. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I think if I had a hold on that, I think a lot of different things in my life would be different. But that I have that problem in my head makes it so that a lot of things that need to be done don't get done. And so that's really what it is, man. Sometimes the mental health works against you. Sometimes it protects you from bad experiences, but most of the time you just got to overcome it so you can get things done that you need to do. And I don't envy anybody who has worse circumstances in that regard. I know how weird it can be, knowing that you need to do something and not being willing to do it for reasons that you can talk yourself out of, just like you talk yourself into not doing it. So that's really what it comes down to. And appreciate having a safe space for which to speak on what it is I deal with, man. I created this for that reason, amongst others. Talk about real stuff, talk about life stuff, talk about what I want to stand up for in life and all these different things. And this is just one of the many reasons that this channel exists. Talk about things that are in my life that either I appreciate or don't appreciate, or whatever the case may be. So when it comes to struggles of the mental health, it ain't too much fun, but I hope as an example to others you can find your voice. Find your voice and ultimately be able to win these battles in your own head, man. That's what I hope to try to be an example, to show people that it can be done. And we can help others. If you can't win those battles, you can fight a different battle by giving what you are dealing with to your channel and allow it to provide some data that maybe helps somebody else in their studies for whatever it is that's going on with you. So that's what I ultimately say I want to be able to do. If I can't win this battle, I'm gonna start another one that I can win. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. If I can't fix myself, I'm certainly gonna show people my struggles. So that's really what it's about, man. But as we continue to think about struggles, I think about the people who are going through all the different things overseas that we talk about in Gaza. They're living through a ceasefire that's not being honored. As we are not surprised by that. I told you guys what I think in regards to that. That ceasefire agreement is it's performative, man. It ain't real. They're still intentional on doing the same thing they've been doing. And we see the footage of them killing people left and right after the ceasefire had been agreed to. I saw footage of this man trying to save this young boy who had been sniped. And as he was trying to drag the boy's body out of the circumstance, out of the line of fire, he was sniped to keep from saving the boy, who was probably already gone at that moment. But this is after the ceasefire agreement. You got snipers still trying to pop people. Like, I think this speaks to one of two things. That Israel can't be trusted in regards to any ceasefire agreement regardless, or they don't really have control over over the monsters that they sent out there to kill these children. That they could always inspire them to go forward with the killing, but can they actually stop them if they need to pull them back? And the answer is I don't think so. When you have a monster that's out there looking to kill people, you can say you're controlling your army, but once you send them out there to do immoral and godless things, killing innocent people and stuff like that on purpose, telling them to reel it in after they already went down that path spiritually and mentally is almost a lost cause. You can't send people out there to do awful things and then expect them to pull back on that. As we talk about bloodthirst often, once a bloodthirst has been able to taste the blood that it craves, now it just craves it even more. And when you send monsters out into the open, devilish human entities out into the open to kill non-deserving individuals, you are essentially telling them to throw their entire moral compass away and to feed on whatever thirst that they have. So now, when you try to reel them in and say, okay, we've had enough, we've got an agreement going, you've been out here doing all of this crazy stuff, probably lost some of your people in the resistance to that nonsense. We don't want you to go forward with any more of your war, your moral, spiritual war. We've agreed that because Donald Trump is in office now and we want to continue to get American money, we've agreed to stop doing all of this evil stuff that we asked you to do for the last year and some change. And you think these crazy individuals that are willing to do all these things in the first place are going to listen to you now that you tell them to stop when they haven't completed what it is they intend to do? And they done lost people along the way? A lot of them are moving in the honor of something greater than what it is you're even honoring in the first place, because they believe this crap is in their spiritual books. So that you want to renege on that or pull out of that is not going to be something that they're going to go along with on no kind of level. And that there's these bigwigs who are sitting in these offices controlling all this stuff, or so they think, telling people that, okay, let's go out there, okay, come back, like they're actually going to listen to you. You go out there in the field in between them shooting at what they're trying to kill, and they're going to shoot you. That's the reality of it. That's what the Netanyahus and all those members of their government, and any government in the world for that matter, needs to understand about soldiers. If you're sending a soldier out on a mission that you say is a holy mission, and you're telling them to do things to people that don't deserve it, when it's time to stop them, you can't stop them. You can start them, but you can't stop them. And that's what I think is kind of like, that's what they're selling people, is that they can stop them. That you can actually stop the people that they've sent out there to do this. That they're going to honor some agreement that you've made from behind a damn desk. You know what I mean? Like, no, they're not. You got to be able to send people in to stop them by force in a lot of cases. Now, if you're going to train your army to not target civilians and to neutralize a threat that, say, is doing the things that ultimately these people are doing, then I think you got a damn good chance of being able to call off that army, because their morals are intact. They can still look in the mirror, see a human being, like, yo, we're going out there fighting to protect children. We're going out there fighting to protect our country, and, you know, everything that we did was to people who were doing bad. If you can convince an army that that is what they're doing, then you have a great, more legitimate opportunity, in my opinion, to call the dogs off when it's time to call them off. But when you send them out there to do evil, and you want to call them off, you ain't calling them off. You gotta send some demons in there to stop them demons. And so that's what it really comes down to. Israel may be a little naive as pertains to some of the people who are running this thing, thinking that they could actually stop the people that they've sent out there to do it. Or, as I more so believe, they have no intention of honoring any of that. It's just like every other lie they tell. They don't care if you know the answer to that or not, as long as they can stand on the lie. Yeah, we'll stop. For sure we'll stop. They shoot more than people, please. That's how they're operating. Yeah, it's ceasefire deal, of course. Of course. And then they turn to when they do, say, man, go kill all them people over there. And then turn back into you who they just lied to and smile at you like you didn't even just hear them say that. Like, that's how they're treating the U.S. That's exactly how they treat the U.S. That's how they're treating the UN, too. Of course, we'll agree to a ceasefire. But then turn to one of their people right in front of the people that they're saying this to and say, man, kill all of them people. Kill everybody. Just wipe everything out you see. And then if America says, oh, we just heard you say that. Like, no, you didn't. You didn't hear me say nothing. Do you want the ceasefire or not? I'm saying I agree to it. Yeah, but you just told your men to go kill 100 people. I didn't say anything of the sort. What I said was I agree to a ceasefire. Like, that's how Israel's treating this situation. And unless you're going to stop them, unless you're going to send somebody out to actually put an end to what it is that they're forcefully doing, they're going to continue to gaslight you in that way. But America doesn't care at all because they want to be able to stand on the same line Israel's standing on. So it's not about whether or not Israel is telling the truth. It's just about whether or not they can say that Israel agreed to do a ceasefire. Not that they would actually honor it. Because America is just as Zionist as Israel is. So it don't really give a shit. Our government doesn't care anything about that. Our government is yielding to every bit of what Israel's about. As long as Israel's willing to stand on the lie, America can come back and tell everybody that they believe Israel is going to stand on the lie. Like, you know, that's really how that works. As long as nobody breaks character, we can save face. And that's how the world is operating in 2025. They don't even care if the lie is being exposed as a lie or not. Just that everybody not break character in regards to continuing to lie about what they're doing. Now, the moment somebody says, yo, this is ridiculous, now you're breaking code. Now you're breaking the play that we're trying to read scripts off of. This is, as long as you stay in character, it don't matter what the people see. They shouldn't believe their lying eyes as far as we can, you know, as far as what we saying. And we just let them think they're crazy. Maybe if we keep on pretending like this, we can confuse the hell out of them and make them wonder if they're sane or not. Or they just agree to go along with it because none of this makes any sense and they get frustrated with the fact that none of this makes any sense. That's what they're doing to us. They want us to effectively live in spaces that don't make any sense. Where actions and words do not have to match. Just the willingness to speak words that align with the intention of the lie. You understand what I'm saying? And so that's what the world is operating on right now. And it's spearheaded by those type of monsters over there in these situations that we've been discussing. And so, if anything, man, I just want people to understand, like, the puzzle is laid out for us. The question is, how are we going to figure out how to make people understand that they're not crazy, that these words do not actually match, that these things that these people are standing are in fact lies and being exposed as lies in real time. How do we make it so that people understand that and not question their own sanity as they look at things that clearly do not match with the words that are being said and feel helpless in regards to seeing the results that they're hoping to see? You got to stand in your convictions in a world like this. When people are saying one thing and doing something else, you got to stand on your convictions to say, I know those words don't match those actions. And as they don't, I'm not confused that what I'm seeing is not actually what I'm seeing, because they all agree that the lie is what we continue to do. That's what I want people to understand, man. Don't lose sight of the fact that you are sane, you're not crazy. These people are doing these things. They just agree to lie about it. That's all it is, man. They agree to lie about it. It's just like any other fiction and production, man. You give somebody a script, they can read that script. They can pretend, and if they're good enough actors, you're going to believe them. But at the end of the day, it's just a script. It's just a play. It ain't real. What's real is what you see there. And that's what I'm here to tell people, man. That's how the world is working right now. You just got to stand on your convictions. Trust your eyes. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I want to tell you, man. It's sickening. It's frustrating. It's degrading to a lot of us who see this stuff that we're paying attention to, raising awareness. But as long as we have enough people on our side reaffirming what it is that we see and reaffirming that it's not okay to continue to commit genocide, then we can offset all these play actors and all these individuals that are willing to stand on a lie, whether it's being exposed as such or not. And we can continue to connect the new people with what it is that we have to our disposal, our social media. We can continue to connect and communicate and awaken. And as soon as we get to a space where the loud that comes from our side is just as loud as those who are reading scripts, then we can really see who sways what. And we'll see how well you can maneuver in a world where your actions and your words don't match. Because they're counting on having louder voices than the truth. They're counting on being able to drown out the logic that has receipts attached to it with the adamance of and the intensity of those who are willing to stand on the lies and the fake stuff. We louder, we're more boastful, and therefore their truth can't hurt us. That's what the government of these two countries are counting on. Our government and Israel government, they're counting on them being more convincing, even through the evidence. Psychologically, effectively just standing on lies, regardless of whether the truth is being exposed about those lies or not. It's an experiment. They're hoping it will work. It defies all logic. But I'm guessing, based on how often they've been able to do this in other areas, they feel they can do it in this one. And that's what I want people to think as they listen to me. And we've allowed them to think that this works in other areas. Buying stuff that we know is poisonous to us, wanting things and engaging in cultures that we know degrade us and degrade our people. They've convinced us that what is not in those areas, probably as a practice for what they're trying to get away with here. They've been trying to condition people to believe lies and engage in cultures that make fun of them to their faces, so that when it's time for them to do this, we wouldn't even go along with the truth, even if it's in front of us, because we've been conditioned in so many different effective ways to align with things that really don't make any sense already. That's what I think has been going on. And they keep on playing in our faces. And so that's what I want people to understand, man. America has always been doing these experimental actions toward our people, toward your people, toward everybody, trying to condition us to go along with anything and everything, even if evidence shows it shouldn't be done. And so that's why I want people to just be like, look, man, and if we can go forward and tell them the truth and not listening to them tell us what's right and wrong for us, what's right and wrong for others, receiving the truth well and praying prayers that allow us to receive the truth well, which is so important in my opinion. You got to be able to receive the truth in a graceful way that doesn't leave you spiraling, that doesn't have you rejecting the truth once it comes your way. If you're a person of God, I think that's one of the most important prayers to pray in this life, in this era of our existence, in this phase of where humanity is at. Because there's a lot of things that we've been going along with that have been flat out lies, and some of them we are very much attached to. Some of them were never meant to do anything but condition us to go along with horrible things. And we are married to those things because we've been attached to them for so long. Some of us have built wealth off of these things. Some of us have built our whole confidence off of these things that were never actually put in place to do anything but play in our face. Teach us how to think and then furthermore how not to, more or less. And so that's what I want people to just pray, man. If you're a believer in God, this is the time to get close to him. As I said in previous videos, if you're a person of means and you're American, and you can get out of this place comfortably, amicably, effectively, you should probably consider that. Because this country is doing all the wrong things in the world right now. And a lot of what it is they've been doing all this time is going to be exposed with now these social media being in full effect and kind of more or less not a new thing anymore. Now a lot of what it is that's old is going to be able to be exposed. Some of the things that they did they shouldn't have did 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago is going to be exposed. A lot of lies that they've been able to go along with. We got the evidence now, a lot of that stuff being fake. And so receiving the truth about 9/11, receiving the truth about the war on terror, receiving the truth, it's going to be hard for a lot of people. A lot of staunch patriots. A lot of people who've agreed with a lot of governmental systems, systematic processes, and believe in Democrats and Republicans. A lot of y'all gonna have a hard time when the truth actually comes your way, for which we've talked about recently on this channel. They're gonna have a hard time with it, man. And that's why I'm telling people to pray the prayers that allow for the truth to come in a graceful way, so that we can receive it, so that we can move on after we receive it. Because a lot of us are believing lies to our core, and it's going to rip our whole lives apart when that truth is exposed as truth, and we're going to have to be able to deal with it. So that's really what it is, man. That's what it is for all of us in this country, specifically in the Western world. We've been fed a lot of bullcrap on purpose, man. BDL 44, I thank you all for watching. I'm out.